Thank everyone for joining today. So my name is Alice Bogner. I'll just give a brief intro about FarOut. We've been around since we published our first app in 2012, and we've been adding more partners many partners ever since. We have about 30 partners today, and the Ice Age Trail Alliance was one of our very first partners. So it's been a real pleasure to work with this group and with all the members of the IATA over all these years. So today I'm here in a second. I'm going to just show you a mirror. I have two devices hooked up here to the computer. I have an Android device and an iPhone device hooked up to the computer, and I'll go ahead and share those right now. And I'll just give you an overview of how the app works. Second while I get that going. All right. Does that look good? I can't see anybody, so
looks good.
Okay, all right, thanks. Okay, so on the left here, we have an Android device, which I'm moving around, and on the right, we have the iPhone. And I have the western section of the Ice Age Trail loaded on each of them. So I'm just going to give a brief overview of how this works, the main features, and leave it open for questions for the end. We've done this before with the Ice Age Trail Alliance, and that seemed to work well. Okay, so I already have the map open and the guide downloaded, but I will just start out by showing you the store, what you see when you first download the app from the store. So here I'll go to change guide and store. So this is what you're going to see when you first open the store, or first open the guide. Oops, since I'm an admin, that looks a little odd. So it's just a list of all the things that we offer. We're up to we have over 150 guides all over the world now. So this shows a view right here. These are all the trails we have in the US. We've got quite a few over in Europe, a couple in the Middle East, and then we have a bunch in Australia and New Zealand. We have some partners down in Australia who do both bicycling guides and hiking guides. So if you ever want to go cycling in Australia, you're all set for that too. But today we're going to talk about the Ice Age Trail. So I'll go ahead here, just show you on the iPhone on the right. I'll just type in ice and it should come up, show the bundle. And we have the Ice Age Trail broken into 3 sections along with a free demo. So it's the west section, central section, and an east section, and then the free download if you just want to take a look at it, the Kettle Moraine State Forest. But we're going to today, as part of the demo, deal with the western end of the west part of the Ice Age Trail. And on the Android device here on the left, you're not able to do this on an iPhone, but on the Android, I have mocked the location such that I'm crossing US 8 here in St. Croix Falls. So you'll be able to see some of the real-time or live features on Android, but just kind of assume it's very similar on the iPhone. So there's 3 basic parts of the app right here. This is the map view, and the other second major view is the list view, which I got to that by opening the menu and going here to list. On the iPhone, it's a little different. It's a list icon there on the right. And then the third major view is an elevation profile. So you can get to that. There's a shortcut on the Android icon in the top right, or again here on the iPhone, it's in the little menu on the right, the little bar where you can see an elevation profile of the trail. So I'm going to go back to the map. So this is just a the trail line. For the Ice Age Trail, we have, the trail is blue and green. Blue are the parts that are the official established Ice Age Trail. And if I get any of this wrong, please, Joe or Amy, jump in. Whereas green are the connector sections. So you'll see here this blue. And then if I zoom out here, you'll see here's a green section. And that means that's a connector that's almost always on a road. Along the trail, there are also all these waypoints, and as you scroll in and out, they'll bunch into, we call them clusters, just so that the map doesn't get too busy. And as you zoom in, those clusters will explode out into individual waypoints. So if you, let's click here on this parking lot near US 8. This is the Polk County Visitor Information Center parking lot. So if you click on that, this information panel is going to pop up, and you can swipe that up and get more information. And I'll go over that just a little bit more in a second, but I just wanted you to see that. Another clickable item is you can click anywhere on the trail and you'll get location information about the trail. So here I've clicked on each of those. On the right, you'll see iPhone. It tells you that's mile 1.7, and that's from the very western terminus of the trail. If you're over on the other end of the trail and you click it, it will say, you know, mile 1,300, whatever. Or does it go that high? Yes, it does go that high. And then here, as I mentioned at the very beginning, I have my location mocked on the Android. So when I click on the trail, you'll see that where I clicked on the trail, it tells me that that point on the trail is 1.4 miles ahead. And I'm going to be walking uphill 233 feet and downhill 141 feet in the course of getting to that point. That can be super useful when you're on the trail. Let's say that you're here, you're crossing US 8, and you know at the end of the day, you're going to get, let's say, to this parking lot up here. Here it tells you down in the information panel, it says 2.2 miles ahead, and it also tells you the ascent and descent information, which can be pretty useful if you just want to know how much farther you have to go. So these waypoints, you'll notice they generally go along the trail. And so in the list view, that can be helpful as well. I'm going to switch here to the list view. And this is just showing the trails, the waypoints along the trail in order along the trail, along the main trail. So again, here with this location aware, if I click this button here, it's going to scroll down to where I am. It's telling me I'm at mile 1.7, and it's inserting me between the two waypoints where I actually am. And every single waypoint is going to tell you how far away that waypoint is. And you can get the same information as when we clicked on the map as you in the list here. So I'm going to go ahead and click here in East Georgia street parking area. And again, it's that exact same pop-up panel area. Same thing here on the iPhone. And okay, and then now I'll just show you the exact same thing except on the elevation profile. So now if we go to the elevation profile, this is just a third way of looking at the waypoints. This is going to give you a little more information showing you the terrain. Okay, so here for the location aware, I'm going to click on this button and it's going to scroll over, and that big blue sphere is showing me where I am right now. You'll see here, mile 1.7. And you'll notice this strip up here at the top, this widget, we call it just an elevation widget. And you can make that open or close. So I'm going to open that up. And what it's telling you is, so here for Android is saying length 3.1 miles. So that means from the left-hand side to the right-hand side is 310 miles. And for this section that's depicted, we have a total ascent of 479 and total descent of 276. And as you scroll that, you'll see that that widget is updating to give you information. It's not as much as a issue with the Ice Age Trail with elevation as it is with some other trails, but it can still be helpful to know, if, you're looking, just scrolling through here and you say, oh, look, I've got a 300-foot climb coming up here over 2 miles. That's nice to know ahead of time before you start doing it. And so here I'll show you the exact same thing. I will mention that these are both written completely separately, so the features are a little different between Android and iPhone. So you'll see this one moves around a little differently, but it's the same thing, pinching in and out. I'm just using my fingers to pinch in and out here, and you'll see that the widget adjusts. Again, these waypoints are clickable, so I just clicked on that waypoint, and the exact same panel opens up again. So you can get information about that panel. Okay, so I'm going to go back to the map and I'll talk a little bit more about the information panel. Okay, so I just clicked on this button right here, and that took me back to where I am, right here at this US 8 crossing. And I'll go back there too for the iPhone. Okay. So if you want, the one cool thing that people really like about the app is that the user comments. It's particularly helpful, let's say, if you're looking for a water source, or if you want to know something about a campground that you're coming up. It's really great that our users leave waypoint comments. So I'll just.
Hi, Alice.
Yes.
I see somebody, an iPhone. Well, that's in the address, says we can't see the maps. I'm not, that's in the chat room. I'm not sure.
On the iPhone or Android?
Well, the name is iPhone to everyone. And then Liz says she can see them and Doreen can see them. So it seems at least.
Okay, maybe the issue is,
person.
okay, I'll mention here on Android, I currently do not have the background maps displayed. Maybe that's what the person's talking about. I was going to show that later, but I'll go ahead and show it now. I've pre-downloaded the offline maps, and if I go here to settings, and there's a map type, and I can choose that. I currently have it set to online Google Street, but I can change that to the USGS topo maps. And then there they are. Now they show up. So now hopefully
the
that's what the
person will be able to. Thank you very much. We'll hope that worked.
Okay. So this is actually cold. This is cold cache. Yeah, this is a unique waypoint that we have for the Ice Age trails, a cold cache. Or I guess you can go and find this cache. But so I'll click on that, and yes, this earth cache. And so now you get all this information about this cache outside of St. Croix Falls. This information is all provided to us by the Ice Age Trail Alliance. They maintain the waypoints themselves. Oh, this is a big one. At the bottom here, you can, if you want to use Google navigation to figure out how to get there, you can do that. Same deal with Apple Maps. You can show in Apple Maps, so right there, or Google navigation, show that in Google navigation, and then that can help you. That'll just open up that native app within your phone and give you directions to that point if you're trying to drive there. Here on iPhone, you'll see there's a comment. Somebody left a comment, beautiful place to catch your breath. Nice hidden gem inside the village of St. Croix Falls. On Android, it is a little different in that there's a comments tab, and you'll see that same comment. And then what you can do, if you're signed in and you have an account, you have to create an account in order to open the guide. Here you can just click and add your own comment. Here it says add comment. Here it says leave a public comment. And when you do that, you just type in a comment. I'm not going to type one in, but and then just so you know, everyone in public can see that. You can also leave a private note if you just want to leave notes for yourself that the public will not see. So that's a notes tab here on Android. And then right here, it says write a private note, and you can do that as well. And then that will just be available for you when you're logged in with your account. So one kind of neat thing you can do with these waypoints is you can walk down the trail. You'll see here, this is the next waypoint is in 1.9 miles. It looks a little different on iPhone in that it's this little flag here. It says 1.9 miles. And you can go to the next waypoint and just keep clicking on going to the next waypoint, and it's walking you down the trail. So you can just see the points. And I'll just do it here on Android. When you do that, you can just scroll through the comments real quickly. There's not a lot of comments through here, but yeah, here's one. So this is an example of something that's really helpful. It tells you the water's on, that it has pit toilets, 2 large gazebos. So these user comments can be really helpful. Okay, so that's the user comments. Okay, I want to also mention to you quickly that last year we added a web version of the app. So it's just a bigger screen. It's a stripped down version of the app. You're not going to have all the bells and whistles of the mobile app, but you can still see the line. You can see the waypoints. You can see the waypoint comments. And that is, I have to make the screen a little smaller. Okay, so let's see. Oops, I haven't. Yeah, so this is the Ice Age Trail on the web app. It shows here I have it purchased. So if you open that, I should have opened that ahead of time. It's going to take a second. Catch my breath. Okay, so here you can see it's, you know, same deal, same waypoints. Go here to where we've been in the mobile app. Background maps look a little different. These are open street maps. We also have some pretty nice other maps. They're called Accuterra. Those are really great maps. So we have those available for our web app. And they're topo maps in both feet and meters. But it is not as nice. For instance, if you click here on the line, it's only going to tell you the name of the line. It's not going to tell you the distance, but you will get distance information of the waypoints. And this one doesn't have comments, but you can scroll through them as well and get comments. So that's all I'm going to say about the web app. To support the organization, if someone is going to purchase the guide, it's better to purchase through the web app because we use Shopify and they charge a much smaller commission than Apple or Google. So that means the organization share is higher when you purchase through the web app. So, okay, so that is the 3 main views. Now I'm going to show you just some of the other kind of cool things that we have in here.
If you don't mind,
Keep trying to click there, and I have to use the actual device. So I'm going to.
I'm
Yes.
sorry, quickly. I think you could still. Somebody missed how you got to the comments. How you got to that.
Oh, okay.
I thought it might be a good time to.
Sure. So if you just click on any waypoint, whether from the map, the list, or the map list or elevation profile, it's in this detail area that pops up. Of course, I clicked on one that doesn't have any comments. Oh, yeah, there's one. Okay, so here the Family Nature Preserve has a comment. And then for iPhone, it just shows up directly in that list. Yeah, so here's a comment.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. So if you just want to look at the comments, you can just leave that tab open, and when you click on next waypoint, it will stay on that comment tab. Any other questions before I jump into some other.
What's one question earlier? Does the iPhone have the Find Me button dot with circle around it on Android? I'm not totally clear.
Yeah.
Does that make sense to you?
Yes, it does. So yeah, so for this demonstration, I have a mocked location, so a fake location set on the Android. If I show, actually, I should have shown you this. That's a really good point. Here in the bottom right is the GPS control button. So when that GPS button is toggled on and off, that turns the GPS on and off. So to save your battery, I recommend if you have the app out and you're looking at it and you want to put it away, just toggle that GPS button off. That'll save some battery. So when it's aware of where you are, if I click here on iOS, I do not have a mocked location, so it's going to take me over to Denver. So I'm in Denver right now, but because I don't have that ability on the iPhone, they don't let you do a mock location. But here on the Android, I do have a mock location set there in Wisconsin. So that's the only reason I wasn't showing you those same features on the iPhone, because I'm in Denver.
There is one more question.
Okay.
Somebody would like you to clarify what was said about buying the web app versus iPhone app.
Yeah, so I should just give a big picture view. You can buy on the web in the iPhone or in the Android, and then it's associated with your account. And so you can use it on all three of the platforms once you've purchased it on one platform. And I was just mentioning that we have a partnership with the Ice Age Trail Alliance, and they get a portion of the sales. And because we use Shopify doesn't charge as high of a commission. You may have been reading about how Android and Apple charge very high commissions on web apps, on mobile app sales. So we've been trying to push sales toward the web app, and that helps out the Ice Age Trail Alliance get a bigger cut of the sale. So, okay. Any other questions? Yes, I
I'm
can.
not sure if this is relevant. If you already have the app, does the web app cost more? That would be the last question on.
Okay. Yeah. Once you purchase it on Android or iPhone, you can use your same login information and log into the web app, and you'll have access to it there as well.
Okay, I'm sorry. I'm gonna have. Where did you toggle the GPS on and off? There's one more question, and then I think we'll try and save them.
Okay. Yeah, it's down here in the bottom right on iPhone. It's down here. It says GPS, and on Android, it's an arrow, and they're both grayed out when they're inactive. And then when I turn them back on, they're active. GPS is active. And it does, both of them, both Android and iPhone use smart technology. Unless you're explicitly in airplane mode, it's going to use just whatever's the best source of internet. If you're inside, if you're in your house and you have Wi-Fi on, it's going to use that. If you're out in the city and you've got mobile connection, it's going to use that. And if you're out in the woods and you've got it in airplane mode, it's going to actually use a GPS. Just so you know, it can take up to, say, a minute for the GPS to lock on when you first do that. After that, it knows where you are, and so it's quicker to lock on, but the very first time, it can take a little while. Okay, so maybe just let some more questions pile up here, and I'll just show you a few more the bells and whistles. So here on the iPhone, this is just a tool strip. Set of tools. If that annoys you, you can click there on the arrow and it'll go away, give you a little more room. So as I showed you earlier, this is the map. You can switch to the elevation profile or to the list. One kind of cool thing you can do quickly is, let's say that you only wanted to see, I'm going to click here on this filter button, and let's say you only wanted to see the cold caches. You could click that and then done. And now on the map, it's only going to show you the cold caches. So it gives you this little alert here because it's easy to forget that you've turned a filter on and is where are all my waypoints. So it's giving you that little alert there just to remind you that you've got them filtered. But these are all the different types of waypoints that we have in this guide. So you'll see water, parking, road crossing, tenting. One that we have in this guide that we don't have in most of them is dispersed camping. So it's these 3 little tents here. And then like this is, oops, the triangle's a warning. We actually have quite a few of those right now. Those go into effect during hunting season. And the Alliance sets those themselves. And then there's this little tools bar here. So you can actually choose to go to a certain mile. Let's say if I want to go to mile 165, it'll just scroll me over to that mile. You can create your own route. I'll go over that in a minute. Send a check-in. I'll go over that in a minute. So there's a lot of custom things you can do in here. You can create your own route. You can record a route as you're hiking, which I know that a lot of Ice Age trail hikers do. You can send a check-in, which I'm going to go over in just a second. You can create a custom waypoint just for yourself. No one else will see it. It's just yours. And then file manager, which helps you manage your map downloads. And then you can view, let's say you want to see all the recent comments. They're just all consolidated here. So it's just kind of fun sometimes to scroll through this and just see what people have been writing. Okay, so we don't have that same tool strip on the Android, but we do have download manager, which is where you can download the offline maps. Those are the maps you see in the background. I currently have the USGS topo maps and feet that are downloaded in the background so that you have maps even if you are in airplane mode. And then settings, which has a lot of these same things that I mentioned in the toolbar, but also some other items. So let's say you're hiking, instead of hiking west to east, you're hiking east to west. You can change your direction here to westbound. And change it here to westbound. And then you'll see when I click on these waypoints, now it says I'm at mile 1141.3. Okay, so it doesn't go at, okay. I said earlier, mile 1300, there is no mile 1300. So I'm at the end of the trail if you're going westbound here. And see, this says 165. If I click on it again, it's going to say mile 977. So that's the westbound mileage where the end of the trail is over on the west side of the state. Another thing you can do in settings is you can change the color scheme of the elevation profile in the Android version. If you just want to, I know a lot of people really care about their color scheme, so we built that in. You can choose your type of map that you have displayed. You can choose between 2 types of offline maps. Or if you're in town and you just want to see an online map, you can choose the various Google Maps, Google Street, Satellite, or Hybrid. And you do that on iPhone here in the map section. It's pretty self-explanatory. So they have a road map and a satellite map. So it uses Apple Maps on the iPhone and Google Maps on Android. This is on Android. I showed you that filter on iPhone and the tools, but you get to that on Android here through displayed waypoints. And again, you can choose, let's say you only want to see the water sources. You can choose just to see the water sources on the map. So same idea, just a different user interface. Let's see, let's say that you want to see things in meters instead of meters and kilometers. You can change your units of measure, which is more popular with our European apps or with apps where people are here from overseas. We have a colorblind mode. We got a lot of requests for that. I'll just show you that real quick. We worked with quite a few colorblind people to make sure that this worked for them. It seemed that the bright yellow line worked well for them. So they like that. The colorblind people said that worked best. So So those are just some of the settings. You can just fool around with those and see what all the different settings are. Yeah. And then the legal stuff down here, privacy policy. Okay, so if there's another batch of questions built up, I can do that before I go to the next part. I'm gonna turn this colorblind mode.
I think that you answered the one question that had gathered, so I think we're good.
Okay. I'm just setting these back to the way it was. Okay, so another feature that we introduced, I guess almost 3 years ago now, is called check-ins. So it's kind of like the social feature of the app. Here in the Android menu, you'll see something called social feed. I'll click on that. And on the iPhone, it's down here, a little icon that says social. Click on that. And you'll see here that I follow 10 hikers and there's 7 hikers who are following me. And also I can send a check-in. So what a check-in is when you're on the trail and you're hiking, when you click on, so I'm going to click here on send a check-in. It has my username here. This is my trail name, Holstein. And it gives the date and it tells me where I am on the trail. So remember, I have this mocked. So it thinks I'm on mile 1.7 of the Ice Age Trail West section, and it's giving my latitude, longitude. And then I can add a message in here. I'm not going to do that. It won't let me type. And then click send. So now anyone who's following me, they're going to get a little notification here in the upper bar that that they have, and that I've just sent a check-in, and then they can see what where I am. So this is the different people that I'm following. Galax, he's actually our Android developer, so these are a lot of test check-ins. Water Report, that's my husband. He hiked the John Muir Trail. So let's go ahead and look here at, let's look at Water Report's check-ins. So you'll see here, he made it to Tuolumne. You could see where he was on the John Muir Trail when he wrote these, wrote a little message to us. So, you know, I should mention, as you know, iPhones can connect to a GPS, but they cannot, I mean, to a satellite, but they cannot receive from a satellite. Yes, no, they can receive. They can receive from a satellite, but they can't send to a satellite. So when you create a check-in, it has a timestamp on it, but you have to have cell service. You have to have internet service in order to send that check-in out to the world. It will say this timestamp. So let's say you create a check-in on Tuesday at 3 p.m., but you don't have internet service until Wednesday at 6 p.m. When that check-in goes out, it's still going to say, it's going to be timestamped Tuesday at 3 p.m. when you created it. I just wanted to mention that. So here, let's just show this on the map. It's these 3 little dots, and I can view it on the map. And so then when I scroll out, zoom out, you'll see here, these are all the check-ins that he created as he was walking up the John Muir Trail. So, you know, if you've got a friend, son, daughter, mom or dad who's hiking, you can see the progress that they're making. And especially if they're in an area where that has cell service, it can make you feel a little better that you know where they are. And then if you're the hiker, your friends back home will feel better knowing where you are. So how do you connect to somebody? Here in the top right, you'll see this little plus guy. So plus, follow someone, or you can invite someone to follow you. But let's say I want to follow someone. I'll click here, find a hiker. And then you just start typing in a name. And I'll mention that when we designed this, we were very, very careful with privacy. We don't want anyone to be stalked. You're in complete control of whether or not can see you on here. So when you create an account, you're by default private. No one can see where you are. You have to actually go into your settings and set it so that you're public, so that someone can find you. And if you don't want to be public at all, but you still want people to follow you, we've set it up so that you can send someone a link to invite them to follow you, and you don't ever have to go out of private mode. So I'll just type in and start typing something in here. It won't let me type. Oh, I forgot that I can't type. Okay, I'm going to do that on iPhone because I can't type on Android. So if I just start typing in Hill, let's see what comes up. And since it's a live demonstration, it's not working. Okay, there it is. So these are all the people that just have the letters HIL in their username. I'm actually shocked at how many people have opted in. So it's pretty easy to find somebody if they're public and you want to follow them. And then you just click here on the request, and then they will get a request that you want to follow them. Then they have to approve it. So you can't just have people following you if you don't want them to follow you. You have to approve everything. And if someone harasses you, you can block them. So we built in all these safety features so that no one will bother you. And then the other major thing that I should mention, because I think that the Ice Age Trail Alliance encourages this, is to record your track. So if I go back to the guide and get out of California here. Okay. So when you're out hiking and you have your GPS on the iPhone, it's pretty obvious. There's a button here that says record. So you can click record. This asks you share recorded track data. If you want your data to not be used, we anonymously use tracks that people have recorded just to, double check our lines. And it's actually pretty cool. We're updating the AT and PCT right now, and this looks like this rope going along the trail, so we can make it just perfect. If for some reason our trail is a little bit out of line, but you can opt out of that if you don't want us to be able to see your tracks. And so you'll see here, down here, it's giving a little count up of what you're hiking and how far you've hiked, and then stop. It's actually not going to do anything right now because if you don't move, but if I had moved, it's going to ask you to name it. You can give it whatever color you want, and then you can look at it on the map. You do it on Android from this tools menu here. So start track recording, and it's recording right now. And you'll see here, there's this button up here right below the the location icon. That's where you control it there. So I can pause it or I can finalize it. And then since I didn't move again, it's not going to ask me for information. But if I had moved again, it's going to ask me to name that and choose a color and everything. The other thing you can do is, let's say you're going to go out and you know how much you want to hike tomorrow. On Monday, you're going out for a 3-day hike, and you know where you want to hike to Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. You can create routes of that. I just saw a question there. I know of people who had to go into the section before they could record their hike. How does that work? You can record it. It doesn't matter what section you're in. So you can record. We get recordings coming in from all over the world for places we don't have guides. So I'm not sure about that.
There was somebody asking how to move between West Central and East maps on an iPhone.
Oh, okay. To do that, you choose the store icon down here, and then I'll just pretend like we're going to the store. Okay, so here's the entire list. I'll just type in ice. It's the quickest way to get it to come up. And then that shows the bundle, and then here's the different sections. And from there you can switch. And there's the central section. Now I just went back to the, oops. There, just went back to the west section. Okay, so let's say I know where I want to hike on those 3 days. So I want to prepare my routes. So I'll do Android, plan a route. So that goes into this planning mode here, and it just kind of tells you what to do. Long tap on the map to set, should say long press. I should change that. So I'm going to long press here, and then that's telling me my starting point, and then long press again. That's 1.9 miles of the route. Long press again, there's 3.7, and I want to end here, this parking lot. So it's a total of 4.5 miles. And then I can save that and then call it something. Sorry, I can't type. I don't know why it won't let me. And then when I have that saved, and you can open it up and you click on it, and it tells you how far along just that route you are. Instead of, like, let's say you're on mile 300 of the Ice Age Trail, but you've made a route and you click on it, it'll tell you you're on mile 2 of that route. It's very similar on the iPhone. So this tools menu, create a route. Again, just long pressing, these little pins drop. Let's save that. And now I have, you can see this highlighted route, and it's telling you which direction it goes. And so when I click on it, it's telling me that's mile 4.5 of the demo route. And it's also going to adjust the list and elevation profile as well to only show that route. So you'll see here, this is a section called New Route. And that's just the waypoints for that route. And the elevation profile as well is only showing for that 5.8 mile route. Now, if you want to get back to the whole trail, just click here again on the tools and clear current route. And now we're going to go back to the full trail. So that's another one that's very useful. And then you can, once you create all those routes, you can manage your routes, manage saved routes. And you'll, so like, oh, looks like I created some Ice Age Trail West. Here's one that I must have created for the last demo. And then you can just open up that route. You can reverse the directions, rename it, redraw it. You can edit it. And then I can go to that route. And so you can, like, prepare those ahead of time for your hike coming up. So those are the major features I wanted to show you. I'm just gonna look at the questions here and let me know if if you have any questions. Can you type in a segment name to start your hike instead of the mile? Unfortunately, no, we don't have that ability. Can you share an account within the household? Yes, we aren't on family planning, but if you just write into us, well, you can't. Okay, there's 2 ways. You could share accounts. You can just both log in with the same account. Though we do have some measures in place so that people don't share their account too widely. But if you just have 2 people sharing, you can both log in, or you can just write into us and say, hey, my spouse, my partner, whatever, we're going to hike this trail together, or I'm out hiking and my partner wants to watch me from home. We'll give you a second copy. Is it possible to record tracks after your hike if you forgot to hit record while hiking? So no, but we actually, that's another thing we can do for you on our end. We can create a fake GPX track and then we can upload it to your account for you.
Oh,
Did you see this one that says, is there a way to overlay state parks close
Oh.
by or county parks for camping?
No, we don't have particular state map, county park maps. Well, I believe you have pretty comprehensive state park camping in the app, don't you? I'm not super familiar with this Waypoint set because you all maintain it.
Sorry, I can't help. There is another question. I'm not sure I understand it, but there are two people on this webinar, both with iPhones, and we hike together, but we can't find each other to connect. I think they're talking about in the social.
Yeah, let me show you real quick how to turn that on. So here on,
I went to Arizona.
oops, move this out of the way. On iPhone, oh, actually, you know, that's, you go into your own account. So account, that's down here on iPhone, and for Android, it's my user profile. Since you said it's iPhone, here's a settings button here to the right of your picture. Make profile public, and then you can just toggle that to public. And if you want to see what your public profile looks like, you can click on that button. And on Android, it's a little different. Edit socials, I think. Yes, social settings. Nope. Edit user profile. Yes, so it's edit user profile, and here you can toggle on and off, make profile public. And if you want to know exactly what that means, there's a little question button. Just so you know, if you are public, so what you can do is you can just turn it on public temporarily and then hook up with your buddy to follow each other, and then you can turn it off and you'll be following each other. But if you do post comments, your username is still going to be public. So if you want complete privacy, just use a fake name that no one can figure out, or don't post public comments.
One more question. My friend went to Arizona and forgot to turn off the GPS, and now her map looks like spaghetti. Can it be erased?
Yeah, actually, that's something we can help out with if they write in to customer support.
Oh, to customer support. Okay.
I'll put in the chat what our customer support is. We just got a support request about that a couple days ago, where they forgot to turn it off, and now they had a long, maybe it was this person, they had one long line, and I just haven't got to it yet.
I can imagine that happens once in a while.
Yeah. Anything else?
Somebody asked where the recording will be available, and I'm not real sure. I think that you will have to check the website. I'm not sure where they are posted, but I imagine it's someplace on the Ice Age Trail website.
We'll also put it on our YouTube channel.
On YouTube. Okay.
So we're a small team. We love hikers. That's what we care about. So, you know, if you ever have any questions, write into us to customer support. We actually don't do phone support. We're too small for that. Yeah, so customer support is at support. You write into support at FarOutGuides.com. And there's 3 of us that do all our checking in all the time. So we try to get back to you as soon as possible.
Support at FarOutGuides.com.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes, can you create and save multiple routes? Yes, you can create as many as you like. We have people who master plan their entire Pacific Crest Trail hike and will make 150 routes at a time. Unfortunately, you can edit them because I don't think anyone's 150-day hike goes as they think it will.
Oh.
Feel free to just ask me too, if you want to unmute yourself. Will the recording be on the new route? I'm not sure what you mean. Is that Luann? Yeah. I think you're
Yes.
unmuted if you just want to ask.
Well, hi,
Hi.
I'm the one with the spaghetti question.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, she went to Arizona, flew like twice, so it really looks like spaghetti.
Okay.
But for me, for this new route, when I walk it, will it kind of record the new route?
I mean, it's just going to record wherever you're walking.
Okay, that
Yeah.
sounds,
So that's a difference between recording a route, is it just records where you're walking, whereas if you plan a route, the route planning, that's just overlaid on the actual trail.
okay,
And we have tutorials on all these things on our website. I'm going to put it here in the chat. How to's. Let me make sure that works. Yeah. So these how-to guides, they kind of walk you through how to record, how to create a new route.
okay.
But yeah,
Yeah.
with the spaghetti route, just write into us. Or have you already written into us?
No, I haven't.
Okay. Yeah, we can help you with that.
But you were just putting in, I didn't see it come up in the chat.
Oh, did I not hit enter? Oh, let's see. Oops, I just sent it to one person. That's why.
That's what I think might have happened with the first. I did get the
Oh,
support
okay.
in there, but I didn't get this other one put into everybody. Thank you.
There we go.
Oh,
I have a question.
Yes.
I have been on, well, I started with Mammoth Tracks and at some point it shifted over to Gut Hook and now it's FarOut and it's updated itself. But I think I ignored the setup account question when I first got into FarOut and now I don't know how to find whether I have set up an account. How would I find that? Or how would I set up an account? I'm in the maps and I can't find anywhere to set up an account.
Are you on Android or iPhone?
Android.
So for Android, you click on the menu bar in the upper left. And then there should be an option, the 6th item down that says user account.
Okay, good. Thank you.
Uh-huh. Who will we contact to get more camping options listed? Is that the Ice Age Trail Alliance? Yes.
yes, and I will say that we are always trying. We are working on it. We know that is a deficit. It's harder to find hiking. Camping in the southern part of the state, but that is the challenge. Or part of the challenge of hiking the Ice Age Trail. But we are working on getting more dispersed camp sites in.
So I wasn't looking for dispersed. Was that, I'm not sure who was talking.
Oh,
I
that
missed who it was.
It was Joe. Yeah,
Hey,
what,
So what I wasn't looking for disperse, like right now we're hiking the actual segment that Alice had up and trying to find like where all the state parks are so that if we're going to be hiking 100 miles segments, over a week, and we're trying to figure out like where are the options for, Council Grounds and Jack Lake, and Council Grounds isn't on this map, but Jack Lake is. So it would just be nice if at least the state parks that are around were listed, but even the county parks would be fabulous because we're tent camping and trying to find places that are close, drivable, right? Because we're segment hiking, not through hiking.
okay. So what we have in our resources are campsites, camping grounds that are on or near the trail.
Got it.
So
Okay.
you're asking that we expand the radius of what we have posted.
Right.
I don't know if we have the resources to do that, but I will
Yeah,
will
or just have it as an overlay, right? Where you can
Uh-huh.
click on state parks or county parks as an
I
option.
will give that suggestion to the map
Thank you.
people. Sure.
Hi, this is Marilyn. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, I purchased today for the first time the Ice Age Trail Guide, and I was able to download one of the bundle. I got the Kettle Moraine piece. That was the first one on the list. I cannot get out of the Kettle Moraine to go back to the rest of the bundle on my Android phone. How do I do that?
On your Android, let's see, let me share my screen again. Second here. Okay, so on the Android, you click on the menu up here in the upper left
Yeah.
and then change guide.
Ah, I'm blind.
And then if you're in the list view, if it doesn't just take you directly there, you can just type in ice for the search.
Got it. Okay, found it.
Okay,
I
great.
completely missed that the arrow there that said change guide. Thank you so much.
Yeah, it's actually one of our most common questions that we get in customer support. So
And I really did have an issue. I sent you a support an email earlier about to support because I ordered on Mac Air and I couldn't get the app to come up in my phone. But I finally got it. It finally got up. So now I'm using the phone and I can do it. But it took a long time for that to transfer over and maybe a couple hours before I could actually find the app on my phone that it appeared. So just wondered if, that's why I sent it to you to begin with. And you can delete that support.
okay, all right.
thinking-
Yeah, I'm sorry about that. It should have been instant. Not sure
Thank
what
you.
happened there.
That's all right. I just wanted to let you know what happened. Thank you.
Okay.
And I'm appreciating this a lot tonight. Thank you.
Oh, good.
Hi, this is Tom. I have a quick question. I do have an account.
Okay.
I have an account and I have a little red dot with a white animal in it.
Okay.
And I'm not terribly tech savvy, but I do have the account, but I missed something in the beginning. I can get to a map, but I'm having trouble figuring out where I need to go to get to what. I want to know how to get the Ice Age Trail Central up. That's
True. Okay. Are you on iPhone or Android?
iPhone.
iPhone. So, I'm just going to keep the screen sharing on from now on. Let's see.
I'm in my account right now.
Okay. Oh, you're in your account. Okay. So you're in something like this. So what you'll do is in the bottom, there's a store icon on the bottom left. So click on that.
Okay.
And if it looks like a list, it looks something like this, a list.
I have one Arizona.
Arizona, there's only one thing in the list.
Yep.
Oh. What if you click on the little, this, search button here? Does that come up? Little magnifying glass.
No, yeah, now I can put in ice.
And if you put in ice, it should come up.
Yep, Ice Age Trail. Central, got it.
Okay, then if you have, you should be able to either click on download or open Central if you've purchased that bundle.
Okay, I don't know if we have or not. I'm filling in for my supervisor tonight. She won't be home for a couple days.
Okay. Well, if it says download or open, you've purchased it, but if it has a price there, then it either the purchase hasn't gone through or it just hasn't been purchased yet.
Okay, thank you.
Mhm. Anyone else?
There is the question, what is the best way to use FarOut for a segment hike? Did you get that one?
No, I didn't see that. I have to
The
open the
best
chat
way
again.
to use FarOut for a segment hike.
For a segment hike. I would use the route planning feature so that what your segment starts at your mile 0 and goes up to however far you're hiking. And just go here to our how-to. Here, I'll paste that here in the chat again. We have a custom route. It walks you through how to do that on an iPhone or an Android, how to create your custom route. So that was where during the demo, I was long pressing and creating my own pins along the route.
Okay, but do you need to know the start mile then?
Yeah, you'll have to zoom wherever on the map it is that you want to start. You'll have to find where you want to start. Are you on iPhone or Android?
iPhone, yeah.
Okay, so let's say you're doing your section hike here in the central section from this parking lot to this parking lot. You would just go here and to click on this route, this tools, and then create a route, and then long press on the start point, and then long press on your ending point. And because I'm doing a live demo, it doesn't work. Okay, well,
That's fine. Yeah, you know, I think I've done
You
it
get the
before. I just
point.
wasn't sure if there was a better way with segments. I think that's been my challenge with this app. But thank you.
okay. Sorry that just was not working. It worked earlier. So you're saying you would want to just load one segment, basically.
Yeah, I don't know if that's a common use of Ice Age trailers, right? But a lot of times, you know, you kind of head out and you're just gonna do one segment. I'm not sure if that's something the Ice Age could add if they manage the map. But I don't know. Maybe I'm the only one that would use that, but I would think there might. I don't know if there are others on that do a lot of segment hiking, but that seems common on Ice Age.
That was helpful to me. Alice, can you show us the next step? I think you couldn't set the final thing because you were going the wrong direction on the trail, maybe.
Oh, yeah, I just restarted the app. So whatever just happened, it should work now.
I got how to set the start and the finish, but I didn't understand how to save it and retrieve it.
Okay, so I'll go ahead and do that again. Okay, I'm gonna go this. Okay. Okay, apparently I didn't realize this on iPhone, it's different than Android. You have to go in the right direction of the trail. So good job on picking up on that. So then when you're done here, you click on this check mark on the second pin, and then put a name in for it. Save, and then now that is saved. So if that could be your section height, obviously be longer than that. And then, I mean, that's what we built this for, is for section hikers. And then, you know, you can create your various sections, and then if you go here to manage saved routes, you can see all the different routes that you've created. And then just open up whatever route it is, whatever segment hike you're going to do. So I click there on day 2, open, and that's just going to take you there. And then this is going to start with your mile 0, even though that's not mile 0 of the Ice Age Trail.
Okay, that's fantastic. Thank you.
Welcome.
Alice, if you're hiking and you spot a fallen tree, can you put a pin in the map and email it to the local trail maintainer?
Yeah, I forgot to show you that. I did not show you how to do a custom waypoint. So what you can do is you can create a custom waypoint. So again, here I'm going to go to this tools menu. Do you have an iPhone or Android?
Android.
I'll show you on Android then. This is very similar on both. So I'll open this back up. Okay, so let's say you're walking along here. I have no idea if this is realistic or not. And you find a fallen tree. Again, this tools menu. Add a custom waypoint. And so you can choose what kind of waypoint it is. I'm just going to do a generic flag, a POI, point of interest. And I figured out how to get the keyboard working. Fallen tree. And then waypoint location, choose location on map or use your current location, just depending on what the circumstance is, and then you can just press and hold that location and then save. And then your personal waypoints have a star on them. So we actually don't have a way right now to email that waypoint, but you could go in and look at it and just give the lat long to your trail organization. Or again, if you want to write into us, we'd be happy to give you a download of all of a waypoint spreadsheet, a spreadsheet of all the waypoints that you are your personal waypoints.
Thank you.
There's the latitude, longitude.
There's one more question in the chat. Please talk again about GPS when no signal is available.
Okay. Yeah, so if you are out somewhere where there is no signal, or if you're trying to save your battery, if you're out on a long hike, even if you do have cell signal and maybe you're not going to be in town for a couple days, you'll want to go into airplane mode. So if you swipe down here at the top on Android, you just click the little airplane. For iPhone, let's see, you go into your settings and search for airplane, go into airplane mode, go back to the app. Okay, so you'll see the little airplane at the top of both of them. And you'll notice that the app still works. This app is designed to work completely offline. That's why there's these, you download background maps, and this is all downloaded to the phone. The only thing that's not going to work are these background online maps will eventually go away. So when I activate GPS, actually I'm still on Wi-Fi here in reality, but if you don't have Wi-Fi, it's going that now that you're in airplane mode, it's going to use satellites to get your location. Whereas if you do have mobile service on, or if you have Wi-Fi on, it's going to use those services because it's just less it's the most efficient on battery use, and that just is going on in the background. That's handled by Android or iPhone. We don't really have any control over that. But again, I want to mention that if you are out for a long hike, it's not going to drain your battery, but if you remember, just turn your GPS off, and that will save some battery. And then putting in airplane mode really saves battery.
Alice, this is Tom again. I have just a quick follow-up. I do have the FarOut app. And my wife, I just talked to her on the phone and she said, we do have all of that. I paid for it. So I went on, I clicked on the FarOut app, the icon on my phone.
Uh-huh.
And now I'm down to Ice Age Trail Central.
Mhm.
And it says $9.99.
Okay.
And she said we paid for all of this. So when I click on that, it gives me Ice Age Trail Central, but it still says $9.99 or $14.99.
Okay.
And it shows
well,
the trail, but I can't do anything else with it.
Okay. You could either hang out here when this is done or send us a note at support@faroutguides.com, and we'll fix that for you. We'll get it back for you. It's
Okay.
usually if you're not logged into the same account that you originally purchased it on.
Yeah, I don't know that I am. So I'll wait and send you a note when I'll talk to her and
Okay.
send a note in. Thank
All
you.
right. Just while it's made me think of that, I'll just mention as well that purchases are lifetime purchases, and it comes with all the updates that the Ice Age Trail makes to the track and to the waypoints, and that we make to the app itself.
It is one way to have the most current updated happenings on the trail. When there's new trail, it gets updated right away. So it is a good up-to-date way to be informed.
I just had a question on Facebook today from someone who was asking about a parking lot at the north end of the Greenwood segment. And I asked the individual if they had updated the map because the parking lot is 3 years old. And when I opened up my FarOut, it was right there. It was also on the interactive map. So maybe a word about updating your map.
It should happen automatically. Occasionally we do get questions in about that. It's possible this person had a really old version of it, but if they don't have the old version of it, I'll show you how to force update.
But the update's not automatic. If I may be incorrect, but don't you have to take affirmative action on the Android to update periodically?
On the really old version you did, but not anymore. It should happen automatically. It does a check every 24 hours. So if when you open the app, it's been more than 24 hours since it last checked, it will check for you, assuming you're online. On Android, I'll show you how to force it to update. If you go here to the menu and then download manager, there's this check for updates. And it's not going to just check for updates here in Ice Age Trail West. It's going to check for updates on anything. So I can't right now because I'm in airplane mode. But if I wasn't in airplane mode, it will check for anything that you have downloaded. You can do the same thing on iPhone from the bottom right, more menu, and then settings. And then there's a manage downloads section. And from there, you can force check to see if there's trail route updates, etc. And again, I'm on Wi-Fi, that's why I did it. But it can also, it'll force update for trails, comments, or waypoints. But it should happen automatically every 24 hours unless the person has a really old version of the app. We still have, somebody brought it up that we were Mammoth Tracks, then Gut Hook Guides, then FarOut Guides. We're just FarOut Guides now. We're stopping. We're not rebranding again. That was a huge thing to rebrand. But we still do have some of those really old first versions that we put out like 6 or 7 years ago. Some people still have them. When I download a map and an update occurs, should I download again, right? Yeah, if you're going through if it's been a major reroute, you'll notice that we just have the maps along a corridor along the trail. So, you know, as I zoom out here, you'll see now there's no maps. And as I zoom in, the offline maps reappear on this corridor around the trail. Zoom in more. So let's say if you have a major reroute that went over here, then yeah, you would need to re-download the maps so that you could get those new maps. But just for minor ones, you probably don't have to. How do you find what mile a certain segment is? That's a good question because the Ice Age Trail is broken up in all those segments. I think in that case, you actually need to go on the Ice Age Trail website to get that information. We don't have it broken down that way. But Joe, can you say a little bit more about the print resources you have? I know you have really good print resources as well.
Yes, we currently are sold out of the guidebook, but we will have more in the beginning of October. We still have a supply of atlases, and the guidebook's a great planning tool. It's a book, it's kind of heavy, so not something you really want to put in your pack to carry, but it's wonderful to go through it, and right up front you see how long a segment is and where to park. One of my favorite features in the guidebook is it tells you where to find the parking areas from whichever direction you're coming. It's very, very nice for those of us that are directionally challenged. It's a great planning tool, and it tells you a little of what you're going to see along the trail. The atlas is 3-hole punch pages with maps, and you can find water, parking, camping, all the same things you find in the guidebook, except for in map form, and it doesn't tell you little things you're going to see along the way. We also have a data book, which is just that, data. You can look at samples of all 3 of these items on our website store. If you click on the guidebook, and then it takes you inside, and there it's called Preview 1 and Preview 2. And you can look at those and see just what the inside of the guidebook looks like. And you'll also see that with the other publications.
Alice, I have a question about the account settings. Can I just change my username, or does that goof things up?
Yeah, you can. So when you are you on Android or iPhone?
iPhone?
No, so if you go here into your account.
Yep, I'm aware of where to do it. I just wasn't sure if
Yeah.
I should do that.
Right. Yeah, we have it set up so that there's a cascade of rules that goes through our database and looks for everything for the old name and anything you have associated with that, and updates everything. So you don't have to worry about it.
Great, thanks very much.
Mhm.
Question about the guidebook, the updated version coming out. That will be in 2023. It's projected to be completed in June of 2023.
The new one.
I've been doing quite a bit of updates too, coming in for geographic data. Is the app, do you happen to know if the app already has what that information will be in the guidebook?
Excuse me, I'm not sure yet I understand the question.
I've just been getting a lot of updates from you all to update in the app. So.
Okay, yeah, so that will be in the next guidebook, and some of those things are in the current guidebook as projections of what we knew was going to happen. So it's a little different symbol. So a lot of that is available in the current guidebook, but a lot of new things, things are jumping around here. We're laying down new trail and there's been acquisitions. So we are acquiring more properties to put trail on. And so, yeah, there are changes. And I know Tiffany is sending off to you everything that is solidly certified new trail or reroute. So yeah, lots is happening.
Joan, are the books in publish mode yet, or?
No, that no, the field editors are still out working on editing their areas. No, there's a lot of work to be done.
Okay,
Yeah.
quick request. I
Yeah.
know this is on the FarOut, but quick request. I have no idea sometimes how to pronounce some of the things. Pronunciation guide would be great. Like, is it Bond Lake or Bone Lake? Is it
Oh.
Buddy or Bud? Or, so I always feel sort of stupid because I don't know like what the correct pronunciation is of stuff. So
Oh,
just a
interesting.
thought. Yeah.
That was very interesting. Yeah. A lot of names get, pronounce kind of funny.
You need to become a regular at the Mobile Skills Crew where we learn how to pronounce these things.
A
Yes.
good thing, Bob. You're right.
Yeah, it is Bone Lake, by the way.
Good. We were saying Bond and then we were like, maybe it's Bone. Okay, thank you.
Yes, it's
And it's La Buddy Creek.
La Buddy. Yeah.
I just want to introduce you all to, this is Paul Bogner. He's actually the founder of FarOut Guides and he's my husband. So
Hello.
just wanted him to say hi.
I just got home.
Good to meet you.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And Silver.
Well, looks like there's a few more things. There's a few more, or one more
One-
inquiry here.
So
But-
Luann, that sounds like that's a bug. It should not do that. Why is it when sometimes I press on a point in a segment in the FarOut app that I want to click on to see what the mile marker is, the app immediately closes without giving it? That's a bug. That should not happen. We actually have a bug reporting tool in the app. If you click on more, then there's support, and that just pre-populates a message that goes to us, and you'll see there's a little error report log down here, and then we could figure out what's going on. Can there be a north, south, east, west arrow put on FarOut? Sometimes it appears to be going the wrong way. Oh, I see what you mean. There is a little trick to force it to appear. If you go ahead and open this again. If you just, I'm going to use my fingers to turn the map a little bit, and then you'll see that appeared up there. And then I'll turn it a little bit here. If you turn the map a little bit, I don't know why that's repositioning.
Oh,
And it shows up. So I'm not sure why it's repositioning itself on iPhone. But yeah.
It wants to be that way.
So there you go. And then if you, let's say you get all the way turned around, you don't even know what's what anymore. If you click on it, it will go back to due north. Where is that?
Neat.
I guess that's disappearing by design. It's just so that you can quickly see without it taking up too much space on the screen. I'm new to FarOut. Are the county lines on the app on one of the maps? Let's see. I think that yeah, so actually right here on Android, the USGS maps appear to show the county line. Unless that's just a road. Yeah, actually, no. No, it's just telling you what county it is. I don't think there's the line. These are maps published by the government. Thanks, Pam.
Well, I think that, is this a good place to wrap up? Excuse me. It's almost 8 o'clock, and questions are slowing down. So thank you so much, Alice, for coming and sharing all this information.
Yeah,
I
thank you.
learned a
I think
lot.
this is the third one I've done with you all, and I always really enjoy it. Thank
Can I
you.
interrupt? Can I interrupt to answer that question? I just opened the western part of the trail, and as I thought, the county lines are indicated on
Oh.
the app.
Yep.
At least on, I forget which map I'm on, maybe the topo, or no, the USGS.
Kind of a dotted yellow line.
Yeah,
Yeah.
dashed,
Yep.
a dashed yellow line.
Yeah, I'm seeing it too.
And it says what county you're in along the line in one location or another.
Right. Thanks.
Okay. I think we can wrap it up.
All right. Well, have a
Thank
good evening,
you.
everyone.
Thank you so much.
You did a great job.
That was helpful. That alone, the north.
Yeah.
Because it seemed to get like switched and then it was like, I don't know which
I
way.
know, it's very,
going.
very
So
confusing.
you just touch it and the north comes up then.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that's helpful, Kathy. And just so you know, the baby Chuck told me was a boy. It's a girl.
Emerson?
It's a girl. Emerson is a girl.
Oh,
I'm like,
look at
Charles.
her.
I said, Charles. He said,
Oh, born at
you-
home. They're
he
very
says-
proud of that.
he
Little
says,